Welcome to Rouse Flybox. Today we're going to tie a very basic streamer pattern. It's called the Firehole. It's not one of my personal patterns. It was provided to me by a gentleman that I ran into on a coastal stream in western Washington. And he insisted that it was his go-to pattern for sea run cuts. I took him at his word and found out that he was right. It was a very productive pattern for cutthroat. It has also since proven to be a very productive pattern on just about everywhere I fish for trout. Whenever the fish of the day are looking for red with a little flash, this streamer outperforms everything. I build a little bit of a stronger base at the tail to grip my tail. I start off with a 7X Dick Talor 2370 hook. It's my favorite streamer hook. It's pretty much all I use for streamers, unless I go to Woolly Buggers and I use a standard streamer hook. And I start off with 6/0 black thread. I work it back to the back, and I'm going to tie in a decent clump of moose body hair for the tail. I tie it in about a 1/2 inch. You want it a little bit substantial, not overdoing it though. And tie in your tail, bring your thread back, and then clip it off. Moose isn't bulky. Normally I'd worry about leaving a step in the body, but moose hair isn't that bulky, so you can bind it down pretty good when you're still with the tips. At this point, I bring my thread forward to about 2 eye lengths back. And I tie in my mylar tinsel. I tie it in silver side up because it's two-sided and I want the gold to come back. I tie it in on the side of the hook going down. Feel it gives a little bit better step that way. And I bring my thread back to the front. And then I'm going to wrap a nice tight body forward. Looks like it slid on me a little bit there. Keep it overlapped, nice and tight. And try and keep it as level as possible. Sometimes it'll slide. Keep enough tension on it, generally it'll stay put. And trim it. Bind the head down good. Okay, at this point you're going to tie in your red bucktail. I tie about a pencil size, or cut about a pencil size clump, and then I hand sort it. I don't want this much. But I don't fight with it. Trim it down until by feel, until I get it to about where I want it. And you're going to tie your bucktail in the red where it extends about even with the tail. And pinch wrap. And then what I like to do with my bucktail, especially if I'm only doing two, like this pattern, I'll put a whip finish in it, and then small dab of cement, Sally Hansen's. I want it to stay in place. And there's no throat on this fly. I guess you could add one. Most often on these flies, you know, the throat is red. That's really unnecessary. And the original did not have a throat, so I've kind of stuck with it. It just gives a two-stage body, gives the appearance of the red. It gives you the red flash, the gold flash, the red color, and it gives you the appearance of a lateral line, which is usually fairly prominent in most minnows. Shiner's got that black. And I'll go through the same steps of try and get some of the curly cues out of there. And about the same length. Trim it. Same length, same size. I'll keep it tight in place. I like a low wing on this pattern. If it gets too unruly and I want to make sure I got it right, I'll wet it with some saliva, but usually you don't need to. And I leave a little step down up front to be able to finish with a nice taper with the whip finish. Give a nice tight whip finish. And then a good heavy coat right off the bat with Sally Hansen's. And there you have it. Firehole. Very basic streamer pattern. Moose body hair tail. Gold mylar tinsel body. Red underhair with an olive back. All bucktail. Very effective pattern. Very easy to tie, very easy to replicate. I go through these, like I said, if the fish are keen on red and gold, this is a killer, and you'll never switch from the pattern. I hope this adds to your box. Thank you very much. See you in the water.